Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Welcome to episode 300. We've gone since 1971 and we played 2,564 games, or showcased that many games. We've also showcased 62 magazines since then. We're now doing the show in a 30-minute time slot. Hopefully this format will help streamline all the games and all the newcomers can have something easier to digest. Plus, if it's a really good game, we can spend the whole episode on it. Welcome everyone to 1982, and we're sometime in September still. Last playing a Star Trek game for our ZX Spectrum. Let's see what's next. It's time to go to the Apple II and play the latest by Infocom. This is Starcross. Oh man, this is a good one. If you love text adventure games, this should be right up your alley. There is the box. Look how ingenious it is. It is something new. It's a circle. It's a disc. It looks like a frisbee. The challenge was issued eons ago from light years away, and only you can meet it. This is Starcross. Oh man, flip it over the back. We have 35 to 40 hours of playtime, and this is meant to be a really difficult text adventure game, so it's going to take you a long time to get through it. Yeah, it's amazing. It also shows you a lot of the feelies that are inside this one. For the Apple II one, I'm not going to show off all the feelies. We're going to save that for another version, but this is the original, the first one that you get in this sphere case. So cool, so original for a box. So inside there are a few feelies, like this one is the MCS Starcross map. This is your star map, and this happens to be one of the first puzzles in the game where the computer tells you which planet you need to go to. You have to pull out this map, find the planet, and then determine what range it is, which is the X and Y coordinates, and then what range is the X coordinate, the Y is theta, and then below it should be, I think, the phi coordinate. So you put all those coordinates in the computer, and that's how you fly where you need to go. It is one of the puzzles that makes the beginning of the game really, really difficult. And then here we go. The other part is just navigating the computer. This is a sci-fi themed text adventure game, and you have to know what to tell the computer. And this is here, there's been some confusion on the proper way to maneuver your ship, the Starcross. All onboard navigation is computerized. It's necessary to address navigational commands directly to the computer. So we'll see whenever we start typing in the game what that's like. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk we're going to play. I believe the first one was on the Apple II, but this also was released a few different ways. So this may not have been the first. It may have all come out on these computers around the same time. And then there's an example of the screenshot. Oh, easy to get soft locked? I hope not, Ubicore. All right, let's pop it and play Starcross. This is by Dave Liebling of Infocom at sometime in September 1982. This is Infocom's 4th game we've played on the show after Zork 1, Zork 2, and Deadline. And since we had all the ports of all those games, this is our 13th game by Infocom. There we go, Starcross, interlogic science fiction. So cool. And this also marks our 178th text adventure game we've played here on the show. And when I say text adventure, I'm talking no pictures, no static images, nothing but text in the game. 178 text adventure games. Out of those, this one is the 22nd sci-fi themed text adventure game. So a sci-fi adventure game really isn't super original, but I mean, still 22, that's not too much considering all the other text adventures that are out there. All right, so you're sound asleep in your bunk aboard the deep space black hole prospecting ship Starcross. That's the name of our ship, operating out of Ceres. Just as your sleep becomes deep and comfortable, an alarm bell begins ringing. It's the mass detector. Instantly you awake. This hasn't been a profitable trip so far, and you don't even have the cash for repairs. This could be the break you've been waiting for. We're in the living quarters, in the bunk. This nook is your Spartan living quarters containing only a bunk and a bureau. The only exit is to starboard. There is a tape library here outside the bunk. This is the description that's very similar to Zork. How it's paving this world that you're living in. Lots and lots of text to read. Definitely an interactive fiction game. All right, so after this, let's go ahead and get out of the bunk. And the first thing I want to notice is I just type 4 words and it understands the 4 words. It's using the same text parser as Zork and Deadline. So good. I like that I don't have to type 2 things to figure it out. There's no 2-word text parsers here. Oh, thank you so much for the likes. hopefully you like Starcross. I mean, if you love Infocom and text adventure games, this one's great. All right, so we're on our own feet again. The alarm bell of the mass detector is ringing stridently. Notice there's no sound too, so there's no alarm sound, there's no sound effects. It's silence. We just have to use everything from our imagination. All right, so let's go ahead and get that tape that we saw before. Taken. The alarm bell is on the mass detector, ringing stridently still, so it's continuing to ring even though we don't hear anything. All right, let's head east now. Just have to type E. This is the control room, the bridge of the Starcross. There are exits labeled arbitrarily port, starboard, and out. The latter exit has a heavy bulkhead which is closed. Your ship's computer does the routine tasks of navigation and life support. A control couch is mounted before a control panel and a large viewport. The ship's registration is affixed nearby. Your mass detector, essential in the search for black holes, sits to one side. We search out black holes? I mean, this is taking place way, way in the future, and we'll see the manual in another release so we can get a little bit of the story here. But I mean, it's pretty cool that that's our job. So your mass detector essentially in the search for black holes sits to one side. On the detector are a red button, a blue button, and a small screen on which something is displayed. The alarm bell on the mass detector is ringing stridently. A giant paragraph of text, but I mean, it really dives you in. It makes you feel like you're in a space game, at least currently in September 1982. Okay, so let's go ahead and press the red button, and I can type the whole thing out. You don't have to, but I just want to show off the text parser, so press red button. The alarm goes silent. And now let's go ahead and head east from here. Love it. We're now in storage. This cubicle is used for storage. The only exit is to port. Hanging on the rack is your spacesuit. A safety line hangs on the wall, and we can actually say get spacesuit and safety line. What a text parser! Spacesuit taken, safety line taken. Love it. Head back west. We're back on the bridge. And then from here, let's go ahead and read the screen that's on top. I need to spell it right. Read the screen, and it says Mass UM91. Okay, so now, this is where you'd pull out that star map, find the planetary object or whatever it is, that's UM91, and then determine what is the coordinates to fly yourself there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we know where we're headed, UM91. Let's go ahead and sit down in our super space couch, the control couch. You're now on the control couch. The couch has a seatbelt, which is currently unfastened. We're going to go rogue. We'll keep it unfastened for now. Okay, so after we sit down, now we have to tell the computer what to do, and that's where that little card or reference card inside the box tells you how to talk to the computer. So now we want to tell it to go, computer, the range is going to be is 50. So this is your X coordinate on the star map. The first really big puzzle. After you kind of explore the ship, you can move around a little bit, but there's not too much inside the Starcross. Okay, so R is set, waiting for additional values. So range is all good. Now let's go ahead and do computer. We want to head to theta is 15. And you'd have to figure this out yourself. The star map doesn't have all the pinpoints. It tells you like in ranges of 50 or 100, so you kind of have to figure out the number just a little bit. Okay, theta is set, waiting for additional values. Now the last coordinate is phi. Phi is 121, and right below mass UM91 on your star map is that number, so that one they kind of give to you. But you do range, theta, and phi. Lights blink furiously for a moment. The computer speaks. Sequence for intercept of mass concentration is programmed and ready. Please confirm new navigation program. I'm waiting. Man, even the computer's impatient in the future. All right, so after that, we computer confirm. Anybody remember having to figure out the computer side of Starcross? So cool. Thank you. New navigation program will initiate in 15 seconds. There will be a course correction burn of 41-second duration. I advise you to fasten your seatbelt. All right, let's listen. Seatbelt. Consider it fastened with a click. Nice touch. Okay, so now all we got to do is wait. I don't think it'll work. Oh, it does work. Man, this text parser is great. Time passes, the ship's thrusters spin into a proper attitude, and then the engines begin their course correction burn. There's a significant G's and not a little vibration. Fortunately, we are securely belted in. Most likely, we'd have a death if we didn't buckle our seatbelt. Buckle up, kids. They save lives. Okay, so after that, let's wait again. I don't think we'll get that one. Yeah, it doesn't know that one. Too many typos. Time passes as you journey toward your destination. You're headed towards a bright star-like object. And by the way, the course that we're set out, this is different every time. So every time you start Starcross up, it has a different planet or a different place you need to go. And it's not this. It's the same thing that happens. It just changes up where you have to look at the star chart to determine where you're going to be going. Okay, so let's wait again. Nope, wait. And then you journey toward the destination. Star-like object now shows some shape. So we're getting closer as we wait. Time passes as you journey toward your destination. You're approaching a huge cylindrical asteroid. The computer says, telescopic observations reveal the object ahead is to be extremely regular in shape. This is not your usual asteroid. Thanks, computer. The asteroid is unnaturally smooth, but there are surface features on it. The computer remarks, I detect low-level scanning taking place. The radiation is not dangerous. I think we may be getting into something more than we expected here. Thanks, computer. Sounds a little eerie. Yes, I don't know if we have anybody else on the crew. For all I know, we're the only one on the ship. This is a one-man crew. We're doing the whole thing. Filling space before you is an enormous artifact, more than 5 kilometers long and about 1 kilometer in diameter. Regularly spaced around its waist are bumps and other odd protrusions. You cannot see the aft end, but the fore end sports a glass or crystal dome almost 100 meters across. There's a brief burn as the ship matches course with the artifact. You're hanging in space about 0.5 kilometer away from the waist of the object. The Starcross's engine shut down. The computer speaks. Program completed. We are being scanned by low-level radiation. Awaiting instructions. Let's wait again. Oh, here we go. As the object rotates below, the features of a different area become visible through the viewport. There is an area with a blue dome below. Near the dome is a spherical object, which just might be a spaceship. It is held down by silvery ropes. Man, it really puts you in the feeling of being in space. Great writing. As the object rotates below, the features of a different area become visible through the viewport. This area has a yellow dome. The surface of the object here looks damaged and scorched and is littered with tangled debris. All right? I'm getting the visualization right now. As the object rotates below, the features of a different area become visible through the viewport. This area has a green dome and a very long silvery spaceship tethered nearby. So there it is. As the object rotates below, the features of a different area become visible through the viewport. Below is an area with a red dome. So we got all these different domes of different colors, which has no ship near it. Suddenly, an odd protrusion near the red dome splits open and a huge articulated metal tentacle issues from it at great speed. It approaches the ship and delicately wraps itself around the hull. You are slammed against your seat as the tentacle accelerates. The Starcross to the artifact's speed of rotation. Inexorably, your ship is drawn toward the dome. When you're a few tens of meters away, three smaller tentacles issue forth and grapple the ship solidly to the surface of the artifact. The large tentacle retreats into its housing, which closes. You are disoriented. Now that you are attached to the artifact, which is rotating up and down, have taken on new meanings. Your sense of balance tells you that your ship is clinging to the underside of some enormous object, and if you aren't careful, you will fall. Up now refers to the center of the object, down to the immensities of space. So now we're a little disoriented of what to do. If we wait, I think that's it, right? Yeah, so we've waited as long as we can. Now we got to actually do something. All right, so now that we've finished that part, we are going to stop here because this is the first port of Starcross. So I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Ready? That's as far as we got for the first one of Starcross. We'll rate all the Starcross ports all together, but let's see the next one. The way we're going to do Starcross is every port I'm going to load up where we left off and continue the Starcross saga just one at a time instead of having to start the game over every time, and that's a little boring. All right, so our next port is not really on MS-DOS. The real official, really classy-looking MS-DOS port came out around 1984. This one is the PC booter, and since we kind of blend in PC booter and MS-DOS into the same thing, we're going to do them all right here in 1982. So September 1982 was the release of the Apple II, of PC booter, and our last port that we'll see next. So this is technically PC booter, but I'm going to go ahead and show everything that was the really good MS-DOS port of Infocom. Let's crack it open. So here we go. The first thing is the box is one of the later ones. This is the one that would have been not the PC booter one. It would have been the actual MS-DOS one. And you can see here, it's the same. Okay, there you go. They did have the original PC booter done in the spherical one. And then the later release looks like this one in the box. Very nice. So cool. And we also have, there it is, the original PC-DOS version, 1982, 5.25 floppy disks. That's the one that you pop in originally. And also look at the resolution of this text. This is what it would have felt like to play or look like in 1982. We're really going to be playing the later 1984 one, so the resolution is going to look a little higher than this. Oh, I know. They're so good at the text adventures. So you can see there what the text looks like. But inside, oh man. First of all, let's do the manual. The log of the MCS Starcross. So good. The artwork is fantastic. First entry in the new log. Finally got the loans to finance the purchasing of my own mining ship. They were a little reluctant about it at first. What with me never having actually found a black hole, that is, never having found one that didn't already belong to someone else. To put the best light on it, I think the terms were a little steep. After all, I'd pay them back. They didn't have to reserve the right to grow a clone to work for them. And you see this going through the log. Some artwork of planets out there. It looks like, yeah, we got Jupiter. And they're continuing the star log, giving us lore and story. So cool. High color, and I'll reiterate again, this manual was the one around 1984 that you would have seen this one. And we have the instruction manual for Starcross. The year is 2186. Humanity's established colonies on the moon, Mars, and several larger asteroids. So this takes place in our universe. It's sci-fi, but it's not like a galaxy, far, far away. Earth's sky is dotted with space habitats, and the spaceways are always busy. As usual, there is the urgent need for power and energy to advance power this advanced civilization. One of the primary sources of that energy is quantum black holes. And I heard a reference that this takes place in the Zork universe. But I mean, that's way far in the future. 2186, that's way up there. So after you get the lore, you can see we got a 24-page manual breaking down an overview of what an interactive fiction is, how to play, and you should be amazed at how good the text parser is, like we saw on the Apple II. Gives you some tips for novices. I love just that you can just type a lot of stuff. Look, drop everything except the tarnished plaque. You can type all that in. That's so cool. Just like Zork, it's just really good. Oh, that's true. It must have been, Curtis. Very good point. All right, so this is how to start and stop. We're going to need how to load because we need to load up where we left off last time. And it has some important commands you need to remember whenever you play the game. Different briefings, and then recognizing some verbs. So helpful with these manuals. With adventure games, we played a few of them that are text only that we didn't know exactly what to type in or what they can accept. And it's really helpful when they show you everything that you can try. And then we have some complaints. When a Starcross or your ship complains. And then, of course, drawing maps. You will be doing that because this is a very large game. Man, it's great, though. All right, so what else do we have for the piece? Okay, we already went through all our images. Let's take a look at what some of the feelies were inside. I have also a clue book. We also have Invisa Clues, which was a hint book you could have gotten for the time. And this one was more like 1984. Or there we go, 1983 is the copyright down at the bottom left. But giving you some tips and tricks on how to play the game. Invisa Clues. We also have the map that Invisa Clues makes for you. Because if you don't want to draw your own map, just get someone else's. There's the legend that we have on the inside, showing you the first of what your ship is like. Cross-section, third ring, and then you can see they're breaking down what the map is there. And then the outer region, they've drawn the entire map, 2 different pages. So cool. I love it. We also have inside the box the letter from the Bureau to all spacecraft owners and operators, showing you about registering your vehicle, and it's just a nice little note getting you into the lore of Starcross. So cool. And then we also have the inside map. We saw this on the Apple II. It's the same one we had before. You need to have this to be able to fly your ship originally, and they randomize the location of where you're supposed to go. We also have, this one's really helpful. This is the card for navigational coordinates. So if the game tells you you need to go to UM12, now you know what the range is, the theta and the phi to get there. Keep space beautiful. Use your trash atomizer. I got to do that as one of the outros sometime. I love all the feelies. And of course, the saucer style packaging. All right, let's pop in and play Starcross. by Infocom. It's sometime in September 1982. So the resolution you see here is the later version of it. The original one didn't look quite as sharp as this, but the first thing we want to do is we want to restore what we had before, and we're in. We should be getting right where we left off. The control room of the Starcross, exits labeled port, starboard, mass detector, essential for black holes, sits to one side. So we're back where we were before, but now we're a little disoriented. Okay, first thing we want to do is unfasten seatbelt. And I'm going to do the same, typing in a longer sentence just because you can. We get a click, nice, and stand up. You are on your own feet again. I like it. All right, after that, let's go and open the door. Inner door opens, and then go south. We're now in the airlock. This is the airlock for the Starcross. The inner door is open. The outer door is closed. Neither door has a viewport. And now let's go close inner door. Inner door closes. And now we want to wear space suit. We're now wearing the spacesuit, breathing internal oxygen. Very nice. And after that, let's go ahead and open the outer door. The outer door opens and air rushes out of the airlock. And let's head up. You exit gingerly, climbing up to the surface of the artifact. So now we're going to the artifact, where the magnetic boots hold you securely as you hang upside down. The red dock. This is the docking port coded in red. All around are strange protrusions, one of which should be a hook for a safety line. The surface here is metallic, but gets stony further from the dock. On one side, down is your ship, tethered to the surface by the artifact by thick, silvery ropes. On the other, up, is a large dome with an airlock. A round metal sculpture or relief covers part of the airlock door. It's made up of thousands of tiny hexagonal columns, which extend various lengths from the surface, making a three-dimensional representation. You can examine it more closely to see the details. So cool. All right, so after we do that, let's go ahead and push the fourth bump. So you'd be having to try things out on the screen and see what happens. Oh no, did it crash? I hope not. I think it did. I guess it closed. Yeah, it crashed on us. All right, we'll try it again. Maybe it didn't like that. Let's pop in Starcross again. No crashes this time. Or maybe I did some kind of hotkey and broke the game. All right, go restore, and we'll just go quick. Unfasten belt and stand up. Very nice. Open door. Very good. Go south, and then close inner door and wear suit. Then let's go open outer door and head up. Push fourth bump. Push fourth bump. How you would know this? I have no idea how you figure out the fourth bump. All right, here we go. A tiny column made up of one hexagon appears at about the same distance from the center as the first large bump. Okay, push tiny bump. This is another one of the big puzzles of Starcross right here. The sculpture flattens out completely except for the former location of the tiny bump. Because essentially, you're supposed to visualize this object and you're pushing things in, trying to get it all to smooth out. Where the hexagonal rod of a black crystal is extruded. All right, so let's go ahead and get that black rod. When you take the black rod, the airlock door opens. So we figured out the puzzle to get it to open up. Okay, let's go ahead and head up. We're in the red airlock. This is the main airlock of the red docking port. The inner door leading up to the interior is closed, and the outer door leading down to the surface is open. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and close the outer door. The outer door closes and air rushes into the airlock. All right, let's go ahead and remove our suit. You have removed the spacesuit. The air here is quite breathable and slightly sweet. I don't know what sweet air tastes like. I guess it's better than space air. All right, so now let's go ahead and open the inner door. Let's go in and then head up. This is the red hall. It's a wide room with corridors leading in 4 directions and a ladder down to the airlock. The lighting is poor, as though the lights were worn out. Halfway up the walls are planters full of wilted plants. So we're inside the foreign ship right now. All right, let's go ahead and head west. We're in the blue hall. A ring corridor joins the blue hall here. There is an entrance, presumably for the blue docking area below, and also a way up. All right, let's head north. The junction of a wide fore-aft corridor and a smaller ring corridor. There's some dirt on the floor, freshly scattered. So at this point, you'd be making your own map to navigate through this new place because it's pretty large. And considering text adventure games and something on a spaceship, you can really get mixed up in the direction of where you're supposed to go. All right, let's head north again. This is near the fore end of the blue hall where a small exit leads to port. The main corridor continues fore and aft. All right, let's head west. The observatory. This is the interior part of the artifact's observatory and an exit to starboard. There are no telescopes or other instruments visible, but in the center of the room is an image of space in the vicinity. Examining the image, you see a tiny model of the solar system. The sun is a bright dot in the center. Jupiter and Saturn are easily discovered. The colors of the dots are not what you would expect, though, and they're ranged throughout the spectrum. A holographic projector is on one wall. So again, another puzzle, a big one. All right, so let's go ahead and look at projector through black. Oh, look. I bet I can type up, right? Yeah. Can I? Oh, yeah. So we're technically using the more advanced text parser, so I'll abuse that one. All right, so we looked at the projector through the black rod. The light is very bright, but the black rod filters it enough so that you're not blinded. Inside the projector is a clear crystal rod, which has a prismatic effect on the light being emitted. So you have to know to use the rod to look through the projector to see this clear rod. All right, so let's go ahead and get clear rod. Taken. The image displayed is now clear and correctly colored. Very nice. All right, let's head east. Past the blue hall, go ahead and go back south, past the blue hall, south again, open the inner door. Inner door opens, head down. So we're going back the way we came, through the blue airlock now. All right, so close the inner door. Inner door closes, and then I think we have our suit still on. We never took it off, so let's open up the outer door. Hopefully we don't get sucked into space. Yes, okay. Blue outer door opens, and then head down. We're back at the blue dock. You are viewing this area color-coded in blue through the first of several transparent bubbles, connecting the dock with a large spherical object tethered by silvery ropes. The blue airlock dome is behind you, and the spherical spaceship is aft of here. There is a hook by the airlock. Okay, so now you can see what we've done. We've gone to a different section of the foreign ship. All right, so let's go ahead and head south. And there's a series of plastic bubbles connecting the blue airlock with a spherical spaceship docked aft of here. The bubbles are made of a thick material, which is nonetheless transparent. Let's head south again. The spherical ship. You're within a huge bubble, transparent from this side. The interior is crisscrossed with wire webbing so that an agile creature can move around using only the wires. Objects are stuck in the wires in various out-of-reach places. The whole impression is of a rather untidy spider web. The connection to the artifact is at the forward end of the sphere. Crouched in the center of the sphere, where the wires converge, is a creature resembling a giant spider. A closer look reveals that it's not an insect, but rather a multi-legged endoskeletal mammal. It has huge eyes and impressive grinding teeth. It grips the wires with many tiny fingers and gazes at you with almost hypnotic intensity. The spider watches you with multifaceted eyes. Whoa, scary. And with that, we'll leave you on the cliffhanger and quit this version of the game and go to our final version. Wow. That's right. I love sending, and when we do text adventure games, because I know the chat's going to have fun stuff. Keep it coming, Chiptune. And our final port of Starcross is on the Atari home computer. Let's check it out. So this one should look pretty similar as the other ones. Now, ignore the bottom left of the box. It's the same that we saw for PC Booter, but you could also, I don't know for sure if this one had the circular version of the box, but it also has this cool diagram. There's an ad for magazines that came out a little later showing the difficulty of Infocom games. At the top row is introductory, then standard, then advanced, and then expert, which we see Deadline there with Starcross. So they consider this an expert style game. And then here's some more ads you would have seen for Starcross. In this mind bender, you rendezvous with a gargantuan starship bearing 3 intriguing commodities, an alien microcosm of otherworldly beings, a complex interlocking puzzle to unravel, and a challenge that was issued eons ago and light years away, one only you can solve. Yeah, it says expert level. And then I love this one. We stick our graphics where the sun don't shine. More outros for Chronologically Gaming. And then there's an example of the screenshot right there. All right, let's pop in and play Starcross for the Atari home computer, again by Dave Liebling of Infocom. At sometime in September 1982. We won't spend so long on this one, just to see what it's like. It's pretty much just going from a different style text to another different style text. There it is. So we're beginning like we did before. Same thing we did. Now we're going to restore what we played last time. I want to get back to that creepy looking spider. And it's going to go to the restore screen, and then here you take your disk out, you pop in whatever save disk you have. We're going to pretend we did save, and then we're going to load it up. What position and drive, and then press return. This process would take a lot longer if it really was 1982. Yes, that's right. There is a quote. All right, reinsert the game diskette. We go here and there. So that really fast. All that was super quick. Okay, let's look. Should be the same thing. Spherical ship. Spider. I'm going to go with what Chiptune said. It watches you with... Eat spider. I'm guessing this is giant. I don't think that the giant spider would agree with you. See, I'm pretty sure it understands. I love the text parser for it. Okay, so let's give tape to spider. What do you think of that? The spider examines the tape player, then discovers the controls. A random song begins playing. Agitated, he fiddles with the controls again, and something else plays. A lecture this time. He becomes even more agitated. What a wonderful gift, human. He can talk? The spider can talk? This will alleviate my boredom for a while. Your culture is young, but you have amassed enough of interest to keep me sane for a few more years. I thank you. I didn't expect the spider to talk. He fishes in a nearby pouch and comes up with something. Perhaps you may find some use of this. I long ago grew bored with such baubles. He tosses a yellow crystal rod at your feet. Cool! So we figured it out. Just giving him a tape player works. How about that? See? Cassette tape players. They'll solve everything. All right, so get the yellow rod. Taken. The spider, oblivious to all else, is fiddling with the tape player. Every so often he makes a happy little noise. Oh, isn't that cute? So we like call him the spider. I love it. So a completely different look because the Atari home computer looks a little different, but just a quick taste of all 3 versions. Now, at this point, there is really good text adventure games. Deadline is one of the ones we said 4.5 stars of all the games you can be playing on a home computer. Starcross is up there. I'm going to say of all the ports, these all are the same, at least as far as how well they work. And we're going to see some ones later. There's also another one that came out on the TRS-80 at this time that we're not playing, but we're going to see this on several other home computers throughout the eons. I would say this game is more than just Zork in space. And this one gives you some elements of puzzles that you can solve with real-world things, you know, like elemental problem solving and using like the coordinates to navigate. So it's workable. It's not super cryptic like all the other ones that are out there. I'm gonna say of all the games though, I would say Zork is still primo, and the Deadline game is still primo. This one is still very, very good. So I want to say of all the computer games you can be playing right now, Starcross is a 4-star game. I'm seeing Obsidian's throw out 4.5. Jimmy's saying 5. Wow. I mean, wow, we're seeing lots of higher ranked. I'm thinking of all the text adventure games. This formula, the engine that this has is so good. It's still an excellent title. Oh yeah, 4.5s all the way. He just craves knowledge. This also doesn't give you as much length as Zork and doesn't have as large of a world as Zork. So that's why I'd still say 4 stars of every game you could be playing right now on a home computer. Yeah, the chat's thrown out even higher, saying one of the best computer games you could play just right now. Infocom is not done, obviously. We're going to see a lot more really good text adventure games that they shovel out too. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. It just went by so fast with this 30-minute block of time. Tune in next episode for a really bizarre game from Pixel Productions, and is that another Frogger variant? That's it for today, and like I always say, be sure the air is breathable before you take off your space helmet. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.